Too many people out there missing the Social Security benefits they earned because they think Social Security is just about retirement and Social Security cards. So there's just too many people, maybe you, your friends, or family. So let's go through all of the Social Security programs today. I'll give a quick little overview. And my job, if you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the third business Social Security office in the country. And in my semi retirement, I'm helping you get all the benefits you earned and also making sure they don't stop in the future with any type of cuts going on. All right, so let's see here. So we are going to go through the list. This is also a live Q&A, so if you have any specific questions on your particular situation, make sure you click the chat down there, and I will get to as many questions as I can. Let's go through the list and give you a quick overview, and then we'll get to all the questions. Okay, so to earn any type of Social Security type benefits, we're talking retirement benefits, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, disability, Medicare. You have to pay FICA, Federal Insurance Contributions Act, and that comes directly out of your W-2 wages or income from self-employment, and you pay 6.2%. Your employer pays the other 6.2%, unless you're self-employed and you pay both for the Social Security part of FICA. And in terms of Medicare, you pay 1.45%, and your employer pays the other 1.45%. If you're making over $250,000, you also pay an extra 0.9%. And if you're making over $176,100 this year, you don't pay FICA Social Security anymore after that limit. So that's one of the reasons Social Security is kind of in trouble right now, because we've got less people paying into it because they're making too much money and outside of that. But I've talked about that many a times, and let's get back to the program, I guess. So Social Security cards, yes, Social Security does do Social Security cards. Now within the last few years, they've been working on updating the system where you can actually get a Social Security card online, and it's working fairly well. What happens is you file online. This is not for, you can't get a new Social Security card or a new number, like if you just, or, for a child or something like that, you can't change your name. But if you just need a replacement Social Security card because you washed your last one or lost it or whatever the case may be, you can do that online now. So you go ahead and go on to ssa.gov, request a new Social Security card. Obviously, it's going to have the same number. And what happens is the federal Social Security computer system talks to your state agency and checks your ID through that, through your driver's license or your state ID. So it's making it a lot easier to get a replacement Social Security card now. All right, so Social Security card is definitely one of them, and retirement is number two. So retirement benefits, you can start your retirement benefits on your own record as early as 62. You can wait until you're 67. That's as of this year. That's the full retirement age for anybody born 1960 and after. So full retirement age is 67. I just did a video yesterday on working while receiving early retirement and everything. So I've got close to 1,000 videos. So if you have any specific questions, make sure you watch those videos or join my live Q&A. In terms of your retirement benefits, spouse benefits, disability, and all that, how they determine how much you're going to get is based on how much you actually paid into Social Security. And then they do this calculation called AMI, which is the averaged indexed monthly earnings. So they take your high 35 years of earnings throughout your life and index it for basically kind of like today's dollars, and then they figure out how much you actually made on an average month throughout your life, and then they do some calculations, and that's how they determine how much you're going to get for your benefit amount. High end earners that made a lot of money get less percentage return, a replacement rate. Lower wage earners get a higher percentage, up to 90%. So there are differences amount of considering how much you made throughout your life. A lot of people don't recognize or realize that. One of the most important things to making sure you are getting any type of benefits and they're correct is checking your earnings query. And you go into ssa.gov, set up a My Social Security account, and look in there. I suggest everybody do this. Doesn't matter how old you are. go in there and look at your earnings record. They call it the internal is called the summary earnings query. And you just want to make sure everything is recorded correctly. So the tax season is coming up here pretty soon. When after you file your taxes a few weeks after, go into ssa.gov and make sure your earnings were properly recorded, because Social Security in terms of retirement determines how much you're going to make for the rest of your life when you're retired on your high 35 years of earnings. So if they're wrong, then if your earnings record is wrong, then you're going to get the wrong amount. So make sure you check that. Make sure you tell everybody, all particularly young people, need to check it, because if they wait until they're about to retire at 62 and then they start checking it there, it's far more difficult to fix 10, 20, 30 years after the fact. All right. And so we all know about retirement, but there is also spouse benefits, spouse survivor benefits that started in 1939. Social Security started in 1935. Social Security is the most successful anti poverty program in American history, bar none. Um, 40% of people today, retirees, are living on Social Security alone. That's a pretty sad fact. But if they didn't have that Social Security there, then they would be in really, really dire straits. And the reason they're even able to, make ends meet is because they're getting their Social Security check. So that's why it's important that we make sure those benefits don't stop. So reach out to your politicians, reach out to the new president and say, hey, what are you doing to make sure, benefits aren't cut in the future, which according to all estimates, they will if we don't do something. All right. So spouse benefits, survivor benefits. So if you were married, if you are currently married to someone, you can file for benefits on their record. Obviously, there's certain criteria that you have to fulfill. If you were married to someone for at least 10 years, you can file for benefits on their record. Other criteria, I've done a bunch of videos on the specifics of those. If you are a survivor, so you're married to someone, this doesn't have to be 10 years unless it's a divorce type situation. But if you were married to someone for at least 9 months, there are a couple of exceptions there. With Social Security, there's always exceptions, the exceptions, the exceptions. But if you were married to someone for at least 10 months or 9 months while they were, and you were married and they passed away within 9 months, you might be able to get benefits based on their record. So survivor benefits. There's also child benefits for disabled children, disabled adult child. So a disabled adult child is any child that became disabled before the age of 22. And there's also, if you're receiving retirement benefits or disability benefits, then if you have any children under the age of 18 or those disabled adult children, they can get benefits on your record up to 50% or 75% of your full benefit amount. And then there's also disability. Obviously, you can get disability from Social Security. You at any time of your life, if you are no longer able to work, Social Security defines disability as the inability to work based on a disability that is going to last 12 months or longer or end in death. So disability, I've done a bunch of videos on filing for disabilities, insider tips, tricks, and secrets on how to, improve your chances of getting your disability claim approved. Okay. And then the Social Security also administers Medicare. There's obviously a different Medicare agency, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. But in order to actually sign up for Medicare, you do that through the Social Security Administration. And traditionally, Medicare starts at 65 years old, unless you're on disability. If you're on disability, it starts after 2 years, a couple of exceptions there. But generally, most people sign up for Medicare at 65 years old, and you do that through the Social Security Administration, at least Medicare Part A, which covers the hospitalization. Medicare Part B covers the doctors. And unfortunately, there's a lot of gaps in Medicare, co-insurance and deductibles and all that. And that's why people get either a Medicare supplement plan, which is the ones I recommend, a Plan N or a Plan G, or a Medicare Advantage plan. And if you need help on any of those, reach out to my partners there at Chapter, and they can find out what's available in your neck of the woods. All right. So, and this is also the open enrollment period right now. So there's different enrollment periods. The whole thing is way too confusing. That's why I do these videos all the time. But there's different enrollment periods. In the enrollment period we're in right now, if you're watching this and recorded, I'm talking about January, February, March of every year. There's an enrollment period if you have a Medicare Advantage and you pick the wrong one, or you want to switch to a better one that's better for you, then now's the time to do it. And again, you can reach out to Chapter, they can help. If you want to return to original Medicare, get out of a Medicare Advantage plan and return to original Medicare, you might be able to do that now. If you're outside of your initial enrollment period on that, you might have to go through health underwriting, but doesn't hurt to try and see if you can switch to original Medicare and get a Medicare supplement so you don't have to deal with those prior authorizations and networks and all the rest of it. Another program that is administered by the Social Security Administration, it actually celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2024, is SSI, Supplemental Security Income. And SSI is a welfare-based program, low income, low resources, started 1974. Or Social Security took it over in 1974. It was the kind of a national welfare-based program. And you can get SSI being based on disability or aged, that is being 65 or older. And one of the problems out it is, if you join the live Q&A, you can see that don't know what they're available to them, because people can get SSI and disability and survivor benefits and Medicare and Medicaid and the extra help with prescription drugs and the Medicare savings program, which pays for your Part B premium of $185. One person can get all of that together, and a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan to where they can get one of those grocery cards you see advertised all the. So there's so many people that are missing pieces of the puzzle and not getting all the benefits that they earned and need to kind of survive on a daily basis. So that's why I'm doing this channel. Anything Medicare related, if you want to check out the Medicare savings program, reach out to Chapter there. In terms of all other things, type your question down in the chat and let's go ahead and move over to that part. So if you're just here for the overview, take care. Please make sure you subscribe and like and all that kind of good stuff. But if you're here for the questions, let's jump in it. Vince asks, how long will it take for new Social Security changes to begin showing up? Well, it really depends on the changes. The newest one is the Social Security Fairness Act, and I guess if you ask those people, it took 40 years. So 40 years to make that happen. So, but once the law is passed, then the lawyers have to get a hold with it, and then they have to do the training and get the computer systems updated. So yeah, it really depends on what type of change we're looking at here. Question: my local Social Security office called me to ask a question about my onset date. They said it was being submitted for a decision. Should I be worried? No, probably not. No, it's yeah. When you file for disability, which sounds like you filed, obviously you did file for disability. You have the most important thing is the onset date. When you said you were the day you're no longer able to work because of your disability, right? So if you're working and then all of a sudden the next day you stop working because of your disability, that next day is your onset date. So that is a very, very important date. And internally within the agency, there's the alleged onset date, the AOD, there's the POD, the potential onset date, and then the EOD, the established onset date. So whatever your alleged onset date might not be the same established onset date that they decided. There's different technical factors in there, but no, just tell them when you were no longer able to work because of your disability, and that's it. How do you know if you're not getting full benefits? Yeah, just watch his channel and make sure you check your earnings record, make sure you're getting you're filed for the right program. Just keep up on it. I'm receiving widow's benefits. Am I able to apply for disability? And if approved, does widow's benefits continue? Yeah, if you're receiving widow's benefits and you're disabled, but disability, there is no disability after your full retirement age. So if you're under your full retirement age, then yes, you are able to get disability. A lot of people miss that. That's one thing that the piece of the puzzle a lot of people miss is they think because they're receiving disability, they're not eligible to receive survivor benefits or vice versa, or they're receiving disability and they're not able to get divorce spouse benefits. And a lot of people say, well, yeah, I want those survivor benefits. I want those divorce spouse benefits, but I know it's more money. But if I get that, then, I'm getting Medicare early because, I'm only, 59, 61 or whatever. And if I get those survivor benefits or whatever other benefits, then my disability will stop and therefore my Medicare will stop. No, that's not correct. You will get disability as long as you're disabled. And then on top of that, you can get spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, surviving spouse benefits, whatever the case may be. Um, and then because you're getting disability, your Medicare will continue. All right. Uh, can I collect my benefits and survivor benefits at the same time or just one? Okay. Yep. You can collect. Yep. I just went over that. Someone left a detailed message yesterday, no response. Yeah, I've get as you can see, they get hundreds of emails. I jump around and um, all right. Let's see. I turned 66 in 8 months in February. Do I need to apply in February or March? And do I need to go in person? So you're past, you're going to be your full retirement age, so you can start your benefits in February. I would definitely call. You can go online. If you're just talking about regular retirement benefits, you can file online. And because you're 66 and 8 months, maybe you are already receiving Medicare. If you're already receiving Medicare, then to actually sign up for the money benefits is easy because you've already done the difficult part when you signed up for Medicare. So to turn on the money will be easy. So yeah, if you want to start your benefits this month in January, February, March, doesn't matter, whichever one you want to do. And most offices, because they just changed to an appointment only system, some offices do have in office appointments, but most don't. And so it's a kind of a phone interview type of situation. So, yep, any month you want. But if you're just going to start your benefits and you're going to continue to work and you have health insurance from that work, credible health insurance from that work, then you don't have to sign up for Part B and save yourself the $185. But if you're going to stop and now you're going to sign up for B as well, then you need to find a Medicare plan. And again, reach out to my partners there and they can help you out and tell you what's available in your area and compare the difference between N and G and Medicare Advantage, all that good stuff. Love the show. I'm on disability in 62. If I go back full time, how long must I work before I can retire? Well, you're 62. You can start your benefits now. So, technically, you can call Social Security up and say, hey, I'm going back to work, stop my disability. I want to withdraw my application for disability, stop my benefits, and then go back to work. And then, if you're working and you want to collect retirement benefits, as long as you stay under $23,400 before your full retirement age, this year it's 23,400, then you can continue working and collect your retirement benefits. But if it's over that, then they hold back $1 for every $2 you go over. Okay. Pickleball Paul, thanks for everything. Retiring June 25th due to health. When hold I apply for SSDI, do I have to wait till after 1 year not working? No, common misunderstanding. So the 12-month thing for disability is, will your disability last for 12 months going forward? So you can stop working yesterday and you can apply for disability today. And they'll ask you what the 12-month thing is, because people think Social Security is also like a short-term disability, which it's not. And I've had many people throughout the decades I worked at Social Security come in and say, yeah, I want to file for disability. And you say, are you currently working? No, I'm not currently working. Is your disability going to last 12 months or longer? No, I'm pregnant. And it's like, okay, well, I think in every state except for maybe Florida, pregnancies don't last over 9 months, or definitely don't last 12 months. But they say, I don't care what you say, I want to file for disability. And say, okay, well, then you're denied because your disability is not going to last 12 months or longer. And people come in with broken arms. And so, so that's the 12-month rule. Last quick video, you stated have to make double the amount for spouse benefits. Thought it was only any amount over your amount. No, not any amount. If for survivor benefits, yes. Survivor benefits, you get up to 100% of that benefit. So if you're receiving $1,000 and your deceased spouse, are receiving 1,001, you would receive the extra buck. But in terms of living spouse benefits, then that person the full benefit amount has to be over twice yours. Let's see. All right. Can a disabled adult child get benefits for her own daughter? A disabled adult child benefits. It depends if that disabled adult child also worked and paid into Social Security and is getting disability on their own record as well. But they can't do it by proxy based on their grandparent. No. But the child, the daughter, if the child is disabled, SSI, Supplemental Security Income Disability. So yeah, definitely check that out. Ed, hello, Dr. Ed in chat. Hey, David. Hi, Ed. I'm in New York. I'm getting ready to apply for Medicare G high deductible, and I'm trying to find a broker who will help because of low commission. Can you help? Yeah, call chapter there. They don't charge anything. They're brokers. The difference between like a traditional kind of agent and a broker, just like all insurance. If you call company XYZ agent, guess what they're going to recommend? They're going to recommend company XYZ insurance. If you call a broker is contracted with many different companies. So they don't care which one you pick, person they just got off the phone with picked one and that was perfect for them. You call them up and you have different needs and you're in a different part of the country and you have different prescriptions and doctors and all this kind of different stuff, and yours is a completely different. So that's one of the things that watch out for when you do particularly a Medicare Advantage plan. That is, hey, my neighbor has this plan and they really like it, so I'll get it too. No, that your neighbor might have different doctors, different prescriptions, different needs, different health, whatever the case may be. So it's important that you check out what's available for your specific situation. So yeah, reach out to chapter, and they can definitely help you out. Jennings, receiving Social Security since July 24 and working part-time since I'm still contributing. Will I receive more per month at full retirement at age at 65? Yeah, if you're still contributing and that's one of your that's one of your high 35 years, then your benefits doesn't matter whether you're 65 or 75 or 85 or 55. If you pay into Social Security FICA and that's one of your high 35 years, then your benefits automatically increase. You don't have to do anything except for pay your taxes, right? So how that happens is you file your taxes, you notify the IRS, your buddies at the IRS, how much you made, how much you pay in a FICA. The IRS notifies Social Security. Social Security looks at the earnings you posted for last year and says, hey, is this one of Jennings' high 35 years? And if it's one of your high 35 years, they kick out the low one, stick in the new one, recalculate, and give you your money, all 100% automatic. Mary, if I were to retire towards the end of 2025, do I use the 2025 bin point dollar amounts to figure my benefit, or am I locked into the bin point dollar amounts for when I was 62? The 62 thing is for indexing. So they index for basically today's dollars. They use the bin points, but they index based, they stop indexing at 62 is what you're asking. So. Are you referring to a supplement G or something else? Yes, a supplement plan N or plan G. I kind of lean a little bit for my particular purpose. I like plan N because I'm cheap, and N's are usually cheaper. And it looks as though everybody thinks N's are going to continue to be cheaper, less increases than G. But if you're going to a doctor a lot, G might be the best plan for you. But a lot of people, unfortunately, 50% of Americans choose Medicare Advantage. And I would argue the two reasons they do is number one, it's a budget issue. Medicare supplements, there's a monthly premium for that. But usually it's cheaper if you actually get sick. But when people get their Medicare, they're usually young, 65, and they're healthy, so they just get the cheap option, which Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage, or most of those are zero premium, so they just pick that one, and then a lot of them regret it later. So if you're able to get a Medicare supplement from the get-go, get from the get-go. So, but again, it's completely your particular situation. Nobody can tell you, without asking you a bunch of questions, what's the best for you. So, Pearl, when on SSI, you get approved for disabled adult child. Does fund change? So you're on Pearl, you're on SSI, Supplemental Security Income, and if you get approved for disabled adult child, yeah, SSI being a welfare-based program, that money comes out of the general revenue. It doesn't come out of the Social Security trust fund or anything. So if you get any money from any place else, including disabled adult child, they will offset that one for one. So if you're getting, like $500 from SSI, and then you start getting $500 from disabled adult child, then your SSI will pretty much stop. There's a $20 little, gray area in there, but we all need to know that neither our politicians nor president to be gives a squirrel's about us working stiffs. It certainly seems like that. I blame. People think I'm political. No, I'm policy based. I'm not Democratic Party, Republican Party. I'm the Social Security Party. And I blame Trump because he was president for 4 years. I blame Biden, Obama, Clinton, Bush, all of them, all the politicians for the last 30 or 40 years because they have been ignoring Social Security and just sitting on their hands. And so we need to wake them up. So you can call your senators, representative. There's the switchboard. You can call the president, call your local your senators, congresspersons, they're the local offices, go onto their website, go onto their social media and say, hey, what are you doing to protect Social Security? And, don't let them give you all the BS, which they usually do. Politicians love to distract people. Oh, your money's being stolen. Oh, it's given to this people. It's given. Yeah, they're just distracting you to get you to shut up and move on. So, but we are smarter than that. So call them up. And yes, we need to, it's going to be tough for a lot of people out there if we get the cuts. Brenda, I'm debating whether to take Social Security when I retire at full retirement age later this year or wait until 70. I'm concerned about waiting because of the possibility that Social Security may be cut. Yeah, I have, people have been telling me that for decades, and I always say, yeah, don't worry about it. Social Security, we'll figure it out. But I'm no longer saying that. Yeah, it's not because even if it was if Vice President Harris had won, I'm still, yeah. It's, we got to get off our butts. Oh, and let's see here. Let me pop up the correct one. Okay, so yeah, to whether you're going to retire at 62 or 65 or 70, it's the questions you need to ask yourself is, do you need the money? Working is not an issue because you're after a full retirement age. Any children or anything that are going to get benefits, your health, genes. But yeah, I started adding that last one about politics. Unfortunately, um, yeah, being an old Marine Corps sergeant, very gung ho and optimistic, but yeah, not so much anymore. So, but we're going to keep trying, right? That's the politician's secret weapon. Their number one weapon is cynicism, building cynicism up in the populace, but we're not going to let them do it. Hello, my ex-husband is 53 and I'm 62. Okay. Is there a follow-up question on that? Okay. I heard you say in your critical update video that divorced spouses now may be able to get benefits. Must I wait for her to be 62? Um, yes. So divorced spouses, so you have to be receiving benefits from Social Security. If you have to file. If you're not insured, that's fine. But if you're receiving spouse benefits, particularly divorced spouse benefits, your divorced spouse has to be at least 62 for you to collect benefits on their record. So Robert, PERS disability retirement, 58 years old with full insurance for wife and I. So PERS is a public employee retirement system. Also on SSDI has told us 2 times, per 2 times, and chapter has told us I do not need Part B until I turn 65. Yeah, if you have full insurance for wife and yeah, if it's credible coverage is through current work, then no, you do not need it. And if your wife or it sounds like it's your wife's work, um, then PERS disability retirement. If that's a retirement based one, then you will need. But is it based on current work or from you or your spouse? Send me an email, Robert. Yeah, that the way you typed it there, or just that might be wrong. Because PERS disability retirement with full insurance for the wife. Um, if that's not credible coverage, but maybe what they're talking about is that if there's a lot of people that get their health insurance from um, their employer and they trust their employer, this is a state agency, it sounds like, that they're going to provide health insurance forever. And if that's good, then you may or may not need Part A or Part B. It really depends on that agency. So I would reach out to that agency and ask them, because sometimes they say, "Oh, no, no, you don't need it," or "You do need it." Make sure you tell them, you're on receiving disability. Reach out to them and find out whether they're forcing you to sign up for Part A or Part B before 65. Yeah, yours is a little bit sticky situation, but it really depends on your agency. But Social Security doesn't care, or Medicare doesn't care, in the sense of, you have to get, when you're first eligible for Part B, you're on disability. 2 years after being on disability, you're eligible for Part B. If you don't get it, then you're going to be penalized for the rest of your life. But there's a lot of employees that receive, like a PERS type of retirement, that say, well, I don't care if I'm penalized, because I'm never going to sign up for it, because I never need it, because I'm always going to receive health insurance from my current work. So that might be an exception to the exception. So I would reach out and double check with your agency. Good evening. Thank you for your service to all the seniors who need your help. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see. A lot of federal workers in DC will need to file for unemployment after tomorrow. Yeah, and then customer service at Social Security. Yeah, you think a 2 or 3 hour wait time is bad now? Oh, wow. My wife is 31. I'm 62, and she is from the Philippines. Can she collect on my Social Security, and when? So yeah, if she's 31 when she's 62, unless you pass away before that, then it's 60. But she has to fill all the other requirements of being, legal status and all that. Lisa, asking for a friend. There we go. I like that, Lisa. Awesome. Looking out for your friends. Make sure you share, like, and subscribe, so these videos get out to more people, so more people get the benefits they really, really need out there. A lot of people are struggling. So all you can do your good act for today by pressing like. That teaches this stupid algorithm to send it out to more people. So, asking for a friend. If you were married to someone for 7 years and they died while married, can you file for survivor benefits at the age of 53? So you've got the marriage requirement fulfilled, because you just had to be married at least 9 months. So that's good. But in terms of 53, yes and no. If you're disabled, and there's a 7-year kind of limit there, but it's called DWIB, Disabled Widows Benefits. So if they're disabled, they can file between 50 and 59. But if not, then they have to wait till they're 60 years old. Yeah. Does withdrawing from your IRA account towards IRMA? IRMA, yes, possibly. It depends whether it's a Roth or whatever. So I would reach out. It's how you do your taxes. It's the modified adjusted gross income. So yes, sometimes those do. Roth, I believe, do not. But I don't do tax type stuff. Reach out to your accountant on that part. Depends how you categorize it. My ex-husband is 52. I'm 62. What is the rules for eligibility to file on his Social Security record? Can I receive benefits off his record at my current age of 62? Thank you. He has to be, well, no, he's 62. He's 52, so he has to be at least 62 for you to file for benefits on his record. Spousal benefits, if the person is still alive, their Social Security has to be twice yours. Correct. For survivor benefits, it just has to be more than yours. Yep, that is correct. Social Security gets one annual earnings from the W-2 copy A or red copy, which is sent to Social Security by the employer, usually the payroll service. Okay. But some people, not always the case, because some people also have businesses and they lost and they kind of adjust. So yeah, Social Security kind of takes all that into consideration. Yeah, they do get it, but they get it from other sources as well. I just started collecting Social Security, mine and ex-husband's. Does a spousal Social Security automatically turn into survivor spousal when X passes? Yes. Well, possibly, because you're already on the record, so you've already done one part. So it's kind of automatic. But if you are your full retirement age at that time when he passes, then yes, it's 100% automatic. They automatically switch you over. But if you're still under your full retirement age, they're kind of supposed to send you a letter and say, "Hey, do you want your survivor benefits to start?" And all the rest of it. So, and it really depends whether you're on your own record and everything. So, Question: is MedSup F a good plan to keep? Pay $40 a month with $2,800 annual. It really depends on it really depends on your particular situation. But the Plan F, most people cannot get a F anymore. 99.9% of people now get an N or a G. But if you've had an F for a while, yeah, that's the plan that covered all of the 6 gaps in original Medicare. But the problem is, the people that have Plan F, they're getting older and they're shuffling off their motor coil. And so that risk pool is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So people with Plan F are trying to jump ship to save money because they can't afford the increasing premiums every year. So they're trying to switch to an N and or G, and they can if they're healthy. But if yours is that cheap, you have to think of yours as, 2,800. So that's basically $200 if you actually get sick and, you have to use your deductible every year. So yeah, if that's a good price for you, then that sounds like a good price. Some people are paying for just a regular F or paying three, four, five, $600. And those are the people who are like, I want out of here, but they can't because they can't switch because they're not healthy or they don't live in a state that allows them. So Dr. Ed, SSA is asking for original or certified copies to be mailed for survivor benefits. Must due by February 7th or denied. Don't have time to get certified copies and fear mailing originals. Yeah, certified copies are useless. Social Security does not take certified copies. Or you're talking about like a notarized or anything like that. The Social Security doesn't recognize that. The uh, the original has to come from the issuing agency. So the original is like when you were, born in, 1965, you got the original birth certificate. That's kind of the original. But Social Security also considers the original anything from the issuing agency. So if it's a marriage certificate, divorce decree, birth certificate, it has to come from the original agency with the little stamps and the seals or whatever the agency does. That's what they're talking about. Not you have an original, you take it to a notary, you get it stamped, certified, and you send it in. Social Security is just going to send it back to you and say, "No luck. We need to see the originals." So yeah, if you can't get it to them, the whole February 7th, is just that employee, trying to get the workload off of their desk and saying, "Hey, send it in." Just call them up and say, "Hey, if you can get through." But they'll just send you another letter probably, or if they deny it, it's no big deal. Then you send it in a day or two late, 2 days or a week or 2 weeks later. Then they just reopen it, so it's no big deal. Yeah, they're just saying, "Hey, we need to push the button. Need to what do they say? Something or get off the pot type thing." So Supplemental Plan G would now cost me $500 a month without the cost of Plan D, the prescription drug plan, just because I had a cortisone shot in my thumbs and because a doctor office has me as a COPD. Yeah, when I only have, yeah. If you had gotten that plan when you were first eligible 65 or when you first started your Part B, then you probably paid $100. But because you're trying to switch outside of an enrollment period, then yes, the health insurance company can ask you medical questions and can increase the price based on your answers to those. Yeah, it's unfortunate. So yeah, if you would have gotten that originally, then you wouldn't have to pay all that money. So all right, let's see. I'm 68 and collecting Social Security. Can I go back to work without being penalized? Will it affect my Medicare, et cetera? Yeah, 68 years old, you can make $1 billion a month, and it doesn't affect your Social Security benefits negatively at all. Medicare, you've got, the Medicare IRMA, which is an extra premium for Part B and Part D for high income earners. So if you make, like 2 years ago, if you made over $106,000, if you're single, $212,000 if you're married, then you're going to pay an extra Part B premium. But in terms of Social Security itself, nope. Yeah, once you hit your full retirement age, you can make as much as you want. So let's see. Tom, when I sign up 2 months early before the birthday, do I pick the date I want to start Social Security or does it automatically go to the next birthday? No, it goes to whatever you put it in the system. So if you want to start it, it's not a particular day, it's the month. So if you want to start it January, February, March, April, you just put whatever date you want to do it. So We need less people trying to silence others and what we know. Okay. Emailed my representatives about the shortfall in Social Security. Has anyone else? Yeah, I've gotten a lot of emails and people on live and that said, yeah, they contacted their representative. They called the representative. Some of them got some typical form letters and just distractions and politicians thinks we're dumb, and those type of letters. But we just have to keep trying. Yep. And the alternative is just give up and let them give their money to their Wall Street billionaires. So, what's the benefit getting at age 62 versus 67 in 8 months? Besides less dollars, what's the benefit of getting at 62? If you need the money, yeah. If you need the money, you need the money to pay your rent. That's a good benefit. To pay for your health insurance, that's a good benefit. So, and again, if you, yeah, your health, you're not very healthy. You've got other people waiting for you to file for benefits in order for them to get benefits, your current spouse or children, then that's a big benefit. So let's see here. If you plan on keeping your work health insurance when you turn 65, do you still have to sign up for Medicare? No. If it's credible coverage, that is, if it's, through current work, yours or your spouse's, and your employer has, 20 or more employees and you're happy with it and they're not making you sign up for Part A or Part B, then you don't have to sign up. If you're receiving Social Security benefits, you have to sign up for Part A at 65, but you can refuse Part B, and you don't have to sign up for Part. You can refuse Part B, and you don't have to sign up for Part D, the drug plan. So, uh, yes, Nelson, thank you. If you haven't done so already, please hit the thumbs up and all that. Yes, please, please, please. Do I have to wait until I'm 67 to get 100% survivor benefits? It really depends. If your full retirement age is 67 and your deceased spouse didn't receive benefits, filed for benefits at basically their full retirement age, was receiving disability, then yes, you'll receive 100% of their full benefit amount at your full retirement age. If they were receiving benefits early, then it's not going to be 100% of their full benefit amount. It'll be 100% of a different amount. Um, if they waited until after their full retirement age, then it'll be 100% of a higher amount than their full benefit amount. So, yeah. Let's see, Renee, what does this mean? We can't provide an estimate of your work credits because you recently applied for Social Security benefits or Medicare. Contact your local Social Security office to verify. It's just a computer glitch. I always tell people to go into their earnings record on Social Security and make sure it's all correct and stuff, and you can do that 99% of the time. But for some reason, when you have a pending claim, the computer doesn't let you do it. Yeah, it's strange. They really need to fix that. But that costs money to fix it, and so Social Security is very, very strapped. So reach out to your politicians and tell them to fix it, and to tell your politicians to put some people in the office to answer phones. Yes. All right. So it looks like someone. All right. Let's all play nice, as Dave Chappelle said the other night. Let's play nice, whether you're in Palisades or Palestine. My mother-in-law, 85, retired school teacher, 35 years, opted for a pension plan. Can she be eligible for Social Security on some time teaching summer school? Did pay Social. Yeah, if she paid into Social Security and she paid the 30, or excuse me, the 40 quarters, the 10 years, then yeah, she could be eligible for benefits. Absolutely. I would have her reach out, go online, check to see if she's actually insured. If she was married to anybody that was insured, because of the new Social Security Fairness Act, everything has changed there. So let's see. Glenda, I'm now 62 and just started getting Social Security. I am self employed. When and how do I submit my income? Is it monthly or yearly? You file your taxes. Yep. So Social Security gets all that stuff from the IRS once you do it. So now it's tax season coming up. File your taxes, and whatever net income you have, you pay your FICA based on that net income, and then IRS sends that. Let's see. Danny, can I set up payments when I go over the max and keep my check coming at the same time? Okay, so yeah, this is a strategy I talk about sometimes about if you're under your full retirement age and you've got that limit and you're going to be over, the like this year it's the 23,400. What some people do is they say, rather than calling and waiting for 3 hours to have someone pick up and they get my benefits stopped and maybe restarted on, I'll just forget about it. I won't tell Social Security at all. I'll go $1,000, $2,000 over, and then when I file my taxes next year, Social Security will send me that nasty letter that says, "Hey, you work too much and you owe us $500 or $1,000." And then at that time, you just set up payment plans. And politicians use that because a lot of people do that as a strategy. They just say, "Hey, I'm just going to go over a little bit, so I'll just go ahead and deal with the overpayment later. It's no big deal." But politicians use that to attack Social Security. Oh, Social Security pays all these billions of dollars of overpayments. What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Your job, you guys suck. And it's just people voluntarily doing that. So it's another way of politicians use to attack Social Security. So you will hate Social Security. So when they come in and say, "Hey, y'all hate Social Security, I'm going to give it to billionaires on Wall Street," y'all say, "Okay, forget about it. Maybe they can do better." And then they win, but we're smarter than that. I'm in New York and my Social Security is almost to my real estate equal to my real estate taxes. Am I eligible for SSI? SSI is the welfare-based program. The max you can get on SSI is $967. You have to be disabled or aged to get that welfare-based program, and it's low income, low resources. Basically, if you have like over $2,000 or $3,000 of resources, then no, you cannot get SSI. I am 66. I started Social Security at 62 and 6 months. Should I have claimed on my husband's Social Security first, then waited till you can't. No, you can't do that. You could do that prior to basically 2016 when they changed the law, but no, you have to file for benefits on your record first unless we're talking about a survivor claim. If this is a survivor claim, then you can file as on a survivor, deceased spouse. But it sounds like, yeah, um, let's see here. Now, when processing and should be notified within 30 days, it's already been 30 days. I have never heard from Medicare yet. Should I reapply to Medicare separately? Will I be penalized if I do? Okay, so you filed for Medicare, Part B or whatever, or after the fact. Yeah, this is the problem that, what we really need to reach out to our politicians because there's basically, people are losing money and benefits and being aggravated right now because politicians aren't supporting Social Security and stuff like this is happening. So if you already did whatever you needed to do to get your Medicare started, like if it's going to start here in a few days in February, Social Security is at a 50-year low in terms of staffing. So if you're looking for a new card or something, you just applied and you can't get through, if you go onto your ssa.gov website and it doesn't show up anything there, you might reach out to Chapter. They have a system that they can check to see if your Medicare card has been issued or something. But yeah, unfortunately, you just have to keep reaching out to Social Security and yeah, see if they can help you out. Let's see. I get widow's benefits now. I will be 70 in November. What month should I switch to mine because it's more? I will get widow, but now I'll be 70 in November. Yeah, no, or now or November. Your benefits will not increase after the month you turn 70 years old. So that is the very, very latest you should apply. Joe, I'm 68, single. Started Social Security at 62 because I had 35 years. I get $600 a month and work part time as a low income earner. Will I be eligible for 4-minute payment at some point? 4-minute, not sure. For minimum payment at some point. Minimum payment. Well, once you file and benefits early, then that's pretty much what you're locked in at. If you continue to work, if it's one of your high 35 years, that'll increase. COLA increases. But if you're getting 600, you're also doing part time. Doesn't sound like you'd be eligible for SSI, the welfare-based program. So, were you married to anybody for 10 years or longer? Are you currently married? And did you marry to anybody when they passed? Check out all the survivor benefits and all the rest of it. Glenda, they got your income via tax return. Yes. Okay. Yeah, somebody answered somebody's question. Perfect. The disability date for my husband, we put a date of surgery on the application, but when approved, Social Security backed it up like 13 months prior from info in his medical records from doctors. A nice bonus. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So it sounds like you put the wrong date on there, and or actually, if you did online, yeah, that's a problem. But um, what is supposed to happen is they're supposed to ask you that type of stuff and say, okay, you put that date. Why'd you put that date? Oh, because, oh, no, that's not kind of, yeah, that's not really the date you should use. It's, that's the date you had the surgery, but why did you have the surgery? You had other issues that led you up to the surgery, and that lasted 30. So, yeah, so good. They did the right thing. They should have done it a little bit sooner, but they caught it. So awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. I applied for Medicare, Social Security jointly, 12/5. I turned 65 December 2025. Oh, December. I haven't heard back. Yeah, you can't apply for Medicare because you're way too young. But yeah, the Social Security part, yeah, you just applied. Well, it's been a month. It's kind of it depends. When are you going to start your Social Security benefits? Is your benefits going to start in January, February? Medicare, it's not an issue because that's not until many months away. But yeah, normally under normal circumstances, you should have already received a letter in the mail that says you're done, you're good. So, but Social Security is very low staffed. Okay, all right. Let's see. When they calculate benefits, they take all the overtime earnings or just your base. Yeah, whatever you pay into W-2. Let's see here. Danielle, X worked 30 plus years in Canada, max benefits, moved to the US at 60 and worked until 73. I get an amount as a former spouse. He wasn't told about totalization agreement. Now deceased 5 years, anything to do? No, probably not. The totalization agreement is if you're not insured in one particular country at all, and or the other, and they can totalize. They can add the credits from one country to make you insured in another country and stuff. But he's insured, so he's good. Doesn't totalization agreement not applicable. Robert, does SSDI count PERS COLA increase as income or just set SSDI COLA? Yeah, everybody gets COLA. When the COLA numbers come out, the Social Security computer system just takes the 70 million people on Social Security and increases it by however many percent. So it's across the board. Can Congressman's office help you get appointments sooner? Yeah, it's a congressional. I would recommend everybody. If you want your appointment sooner than next month or 2 months from now, call the congressman and say, "Hey, how come I can't get an appointment sooner?" I think we just need to reach out to our Congress people. If all 70 million people, the 11,000 people every day that are turning 65 and need help with Medicare and all that, if they just reached out to the congressman, if we had that happen for a month or 2 months or 3 months, then yeah, I think everything would change and they would fix Social Security so there won't be the cuts, because we're looking at cuts here at about 2033 or 2034, 21% cuts. So I don't know about you, but there's a lot of people out there. Could you handle a 21% cut in your benefits across the board? And there is no grandfathered in. Well, I'm receiving benefits. They won't cut mine. No, the law is everybody's gets cut. Can you handle a 21%? The next president gets some of the things he's talking about. There's going to be more cuts sooner. And I've got all the stats in my YouTube channel. So we need to reach out to our politicians. If we all reached out, the millions and millions of Americans reached out and just didn't leave them alone until they fixed it, we would get it done. But we don't want to do that because TikTok, I guess, is still on the air. So we've got other cat videos or stuff to watch out for. And then when the 20% cuts happen, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I'm not, I promise I won't say it. So, need to clarify. I am past full retirement age, trying to project an accurate benefit prior to filing. Have my Amy figured out, COLAs, DRC added in. Do I use 20 for 25 bin point amount dollars? No, use this basically the bin points use it this particular year. So the best way to do it, if you want to do long math, and just put in your calculations into the Social Security. You can put your actual earnings for every single year, put that in there, and it will do the calculations for you, do all the bin points and the indexed earnings and all the rest. Are you required to get Medicare at age 65, or can you continue health care plan? It depends where that health care plan comes from. If it comes from current work, yours or your spouse's, 20 or more employees, then you do not have to get Medicare if you have credible coverage. Darlene, my husband died January 13th. Do I keep his January check because that was December payment? Yes, because he was alive the entire month of December. So he's entitled to the December check, which comes in January. The February check, I'm sure, the Department of Treasury will stop that or just leave it in the bank and Department of Treasury will pull it out. I'm 62 years old. My husband passed away 13 years ago, and I am receiving survivor benefits on behalf of the disabled child. Do I have to file a benefits of my own as a survivor? Yes. Um, and I'm receiving, you're receiving on behalf of your child. So you're receiving disabled adult child benefit. Your child is receiving disabled adult child benefits. Are you receiving survivor child and care benefits because you're taking care of that person's adult child and you're staying under the annual earnings limit, the 23,400? You can get surviving child and care benefits. And you get basically up to 75% of that, that benefit, same amount as, your son. There's a family max calculation there, but um, so I would do that first, because if you're 62 and you just file for just regular old survivor benefits, then your benefits are going to be reduced because you're filing at 62. But if you do the surviving child and care benefits, your benefits aren't reduced. You only get 75%, but it's going to be, probably more. And you get that 75%. And then when you reach your full retirement age, you can switch over. So I would check out those options and play around with the numbers and see what's best for you. If it's a few dollars more to get survivor benefits now, then guess get that. But check out the surviving child and care benefits too. I would check out those two variables and see which is best for you. Valentina, eligible for Social Security at 66 and 6 months, currently 67, still working for a large firm, but not collecting Social Security yet, earning around 95 a year and projected. So should I start collecting Social Security, wait until 70? Yeah, it's completely 100% your decision. Your work doesn't matter anymore because you're past your full retirement age. So yeah, do you need the money? Are you healthy? You got good genes in your family? Is the extra benefits going to put you in a higher tax bracket? All those kind of decisions. Yep. Danny, I started getting disability Social Security due to a four-car accident. So wow, Social Security changed my status of disability to regular Social Security at 66 and 2 months. Do I need to worry about how much money I make? Nope. You can make $1 billion a month. It doesn't matter anymore because you're no longer receiving disability. You're receiving just regular retirement benefits. And no more CDRs, those continuing disability reviews. You're just receiving regular retirement benefits. So, am I allowed to own more than one property while collecting benefits for being a disabled widow? Yeah, because if you're just receiving disabled widows benefits, you're receiving SSDI, which is not a welfare-based program. So yeah, you can own, you know, you know, I don't want to quote Dave Chappelle again. You can own 40,000 acres in Mississippi, which is equal to about $700, I guess, according to him. But yeah, you can own as much as you want. The only thing, the limitation is if you're on SSI, Supplemental Security Income. That's the welfare-based program that there's, resource limits. But yeah, if you're receiving disabled widows benefits and that's 100% disabled widow benefits, it's not SSI, then no issue whatsoever. Juanita, my third claim with an attorney, and I haven't worked since May 2023. Why can't I get SSI? I have no income. My claim was submitted 12/23. Other ailments preventing getting claim completed. Yeah, I'm not sure. SSI is a welfare-based program, so if you have other resources, you're not eligible for SSI. If you're talking about SSDI, the Social Security Disability Insurance, then they have to determine whether you're disabled, whether your disability is going to last 12 months or longer, whether it prevents you from working. So, all right. So we're at the end here. Let me go down and see anybody that don't recognize, answer some questions for a couple of new people here. My husband was in the military, Army Reserve for 5 years. Social Security says he only has 18 credits. Does that sound right? Um, yeah, if you're in reserve, you only work, 3 months for boot camp and, a week or so a year. So if that's the only time, yeah, it really depends what other jobs that person worked at. But yeah, if it's only 5 years in the army in the reserves, then yeah, that's it. He wasn't active duty. So Elaine, ex common law spouse is age 53. I'm 63 and drawing partial Social Security. Common law marriage of not 7 years in Colorado. Can I receive benefits from his? No. Whether it's a regular marriage or a common law marriage, marriage has to last 10 years. So, all right. I have a friend who is 83, retired CSRS through the old civil service retirement system, 34 quarters on her own. She gets about $400. Her ex-husband was retired military and they did another 20 years as FERS. Can she claim on his Social Security? I would definitely watch that video I just did a few days ago on the critical update of the Social Security Fairness Act. But if she tried before, I would have her reach out again and try again because everything has changed. So all right, we are over an hour, and I think that'll do it for today. I apologize if I didn't get to your questions. I'll be back again tomorrow. I think about doing because of getting the channel is getting bigger and bigger, so I've got more people wanting questions answered. So I might do kind of a members only once a week or so. So if you want to join, there's subscribe. I appreciate you subscribing, but if you really want to support the channel, click the join and become a member. And you can click on the button down below. And over the next week or two, I'll do a member only Q&A, and a better chance of getting your questions answered at that time. And you support the work.